Welcome back to the channel. If you missed the last video with the side-by-side and adding the lights, go back and check that out. We ran into a little bit of a hiccup, but my own fault. But anyway, today's video, we're gonna be going up to our 2-acre plot. And I used to have a motocross track up there. There's still one jump left on the far side, which is preventing me from being able to drive around the perimeter at this point. So we're gonna dig that out. There's a metal shed up there that the wind actually blew kind of down. I had hay and straw stored in there, so that's gonna get cleaned out. That'll get moved. And we also have a firewood storage up there that recently the one back side of it actually fell into the woods. So if I don't pick that up, it's gonna end up rotting. And I don't really want that. I don't wanna waste the wood. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna move that shed, put the wood in there. We're not gonna fit it all in, but probably a good chunk of it anyway, and take that jump out. Because all in all, our goal for here is to obviously be building our house and our future homestead on this 2 acres. And so I wanna try and prepare and have everything kind of slowly progressing and moving forward. So we'll go up, we'll get the skidder and get the forks and a bucket so we can make life hopefully a lot easier. Here is the 2-acre lot. Now I do have corn planted up here currently. Didn't do so well because it ended up going through, I would say, kind of severe drought. So this end's kind of iffy, but out through a little bit, it gets better. But anyway, nothing really gonna happen here. But at the far end is where that dirt is that needs to be moved. And right down here is the shed. Now, since earlier this year we had put in the driveway and we have piles of shale and everything sitting here, so everything does kind of have it's built up quite a bit. There's a big drop right here where all these weeds are, and you can just see right down here is the wood. So what I'd like to do is move the shed over into there somewhere, at least for the time being, and get this wood out from back here because I really can't get in here the best now. But the wood doesn't look bad. The worst part is that's gonna cause us some issues if I don't pick it up. It's all gonna rot. First things first, I think we're gonna tackle that dirt pile and get that jump moved. So because we already have the bucket on, so we'll just slide this stuff off and we'll head over there. What's up, Paisley? Well, that took care of that pretty quick. And now I can drive around the perimeter here freely without having to worry about that. And the other thing is, I believe the septic system is going to end up somewhere in this vicinity as well, so kind of helps that. So there's project number 1 complete, and that didn't take long at all. So now I'll go down and try and move that shed, and it's already leaning downhill, so I know I'm gonna have to put the fork extensions on. We'll see how this goes. Now comes the fun part. Well, I picked it up from the back, which is completely opposite of how the runners underneath are running. And I don't have any straps, which is probably very stupid on my part, but I do have it up in the air. Oh, nice. Well, that one fork is twisted pretty heavy. So, I mean, honestly, that's not bad though, as long as it doesn't punch through the floor. I wish that fork was right. I may try and correct that. But as long as I can get out of the hole here and get it up over to there somewhere. We probably should have got this thing out before we piled all this and made this big hill here. But yeah, now I just got to get out. Well, I got it a little bit further. The problem's gonna be up in here where I already made big ruts with my tracks. That's where it's gonna make things worse, because my track is gonna come right up over that and then do this, and then the shed's already leaning that way. But we are getting really close. I just basically, all I need to do is get this moved straight up here, and then maybe I can come in and lift it or just kind of shove it back in there. I don't know, this is just a temporary thing. It's not really long term, because this will probably get moved down the road anyway, but it's a good shed, so I don't want to trap it down in here or ruin it in the process of trying to move this, but we're trying. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. Darn it. I just sliced a huge hole right in through the back. Darn. That sucks. Way to go, fork. Well, that was interesting. Everything went, I guess, as best as possible, other than the slice. But you know, the base is starting to rot. The shed, it has been dented. Looks like I need to shim this side a little bit. And I'm only going to really be storing wood in here for the time being. Who knows what this shed will end up being after that. It was a really good shed, actually, until that. I'll probably tape it or something for the time being, but it really sucks that I just shoved that fork through there like butter. So now I'll switch to the bucket and we can go down there and kind of clear away to pick up that wood. I guess I should clean it out first. Well, I salvaged what I could. I had plastic down, obviously, for the hay. And there's moisture underneath. This ramp is completely rotten now. I think this will be good enough to store wood in here, but the only problem is prevailing wind comes from that way, blowing right into the shed. So when it rains really hard, I can almost guarantee you that water's gonna run right in. Now, it may not affect anything up top, but all the wood sitting on the bottom is probably gonna end up rotting. So you figure the square area of that versus what's laying on the ground over there, I don't know that this is really worth it, actually, to move it. I mean, yeah, granted, all this is sitting out, but right now, I don't feel like anything's really happening with this. It's not rotting. Like, it looks good and solid yet. The top isn't, you know, soft, anything like that. So I'm almost thinking, do we just leave it sitting here? Obviously that needs picked up, there's no question about that. And that we could pick up and move up here. But I'm thinking maybe, and maybe what we'll do is we'll pick all that up and just throw it in the shed, because number one, that shed does not have any sort of weight in it. And that's why it kind of blew down here at an angle. We had this sitting nice and level before, but the wind caught it and pushed it down. So if I don't put anything in here, I can almost guarantee the same thing is gonna happen. We have entry. Well, hello. Hello. Looks like I caught this just in time. Nothing's really rotten, so it must have fell just recently. I think I'm gonna let everything else stand here, at least for the time being. I'll probably restack some of it, but at least for now, I want to get this stuff picked up, and then I can move at least a little bit of weight into that building so it doesn't blow away again. Can't let this go to waste. This is heat. I ended up just stacking everything else back up, and that'll stay there at least for a little while. We could move all this in, but again, it looks good. There's a couple pieces that are junky, but I feel like with all my piles, I kind of have that issue, you know, piece here and there. So nothing really crazy. Now, if it was all starting to rot, then that would be a little more concerning. But anyway, we got the shed moved at least. We got some wood in there, hopefully for some weight. We we got that open back up, and now I do have access to get in there with the side-by-side if need be. And we took out that dirt pile with not much daylight left, but I mean, we had lights. So either way, we got it done, and hopefully we can continue to move forward from here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Very nice evening. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm gonna go grab a bite to eat. I am starving. Hope you have a great day. I'll clean stuff up, and I'll see you next time.